Greetings, salutations. Back with another video. I've done a couple of phablets and quite a few little cell phones, but I've been looking to replace my cell phone. I have an older Samsung S8 Plus, and it's kind of getting a little long in the tooth. Some of the stuff doesn't work like it used to, though. You know, I can't complain. I've definitely got my money's worth out of it. But I didn't want to spend $1,000 for a phone. I've been doing some of the lower end phones, and those are good for the price, but they don't do everything. To me, out of all the things I use my smartphone for, making phone calls is the last thing I use it for. I don't really call anybody. I do some texting, but I do a lot of social media stuff on there. And one of the most important things is the camera. And that's like, right now I'm using my Samsung because it's got a really good camera. So I got some research, and about a year ago, Motorola came out with the Moto X4, and it was about between $400 and $450. It's a mid-range phone. Well, it's come down a lot in price, and I think it was the Moto G7 that came out after. I could be wrong about the G7 part, but there was no one come after it, and what it had was a slower processor, and the camera wasn't as good. And for some reason, which I'm not really sure why, though I appreciate it, the Moto X4 has gotten a lot of good updates, and the cameras, which were really good to begin with, I think it's 12 and 8 megapixel on the front, the 8 megapixel being a super wide, and then a 16 megapixel selfie one. All supposed to be really good cameras when they first came out, but since then, some of the updates, they have really gotten, the camera has really gotten very good. And as of about a month or so ago, it got the update to Android P, which is Android Pie, the latest version of Android. And I've seen some reviews on it, and it is really, really working well. Not only do you get the latest Android version, you're getting some really good cameras, but have been supported and actually are better than when it first released it. And because it's a year old, the price has gone down. You can get this phone, if you look around, do some shopping, anywhere between about $140 to $180, somewhere in that vicinity, depending on where you buy it, who you get it from. Comes in two colors, sterling blue and black. I always get black phones because I usually put cases on them, so I don't really care how they look. But when I was looking for cases for this one, they had a brown leather one, which would go better with the blue, and I may do a video about that. That's coming for the phone. So I went with the sterling blue one. So I'm kind of excited about having a different color, but I'm very excited about this phone. It's got some pretty good specs to it. Now, it's not a $1,000 phone, but it's not a $100 phone either. It was originally about $450, and it's come down in price, but it's still got great features. And the most important thing is that Motorola is supporting this, and it got the latest update to the latest version of Android. Two very important things. So I ordered it, and here it is. Oop, reflection. The Moto, right there. Yeah, trying not to get too much of a reflection on it. So I figured we'd open up and take a look at it. I have not opened the phone yet, as you can see the plastic's on it. So we will cut into this, and we will take a look and see what we think about this phone. I'm thinking it's going to be I think it's going to be just what I wanted. It's hard to find decent phones that don't cost way too much money. They really, flagship phones are just kind of a dying thing when you can get such good phones at mid-range prices, and even some low-budget ones are pretty good. But for my needs for cameras, that's where the real problem lies, because usually the more lower-end ones don't get the better cameras, or don't get the better camera apps, so that's kind of important for me. And as you can see, still got the seal on it, so we'll just cut that off and have a look at, see what's inside the box. And that is a tight-fitting box. This is a 32 gig hard drive and a 3 gigs of RAM is on this version. I think there's a 4 gig version out there as well, if I'm not mistaken. Alright. Well, there it is. And we'll pop the phone out, and we will look at that in a minute. Of course, you're going to get your little thing of paperwork. So we can get this open out, tearing it up. Yes, paperwork, and of course there'll be a SIM ejection tool in here. This also has the quick charge. I think I read somewhere that in 35 minutes you can get 60% charge or something. I'm not 100% sure of that, but this has the quick charge, and if I'm not mistaken, this is also supposed to be USB-C. We can get this open. Let's take a look if I'm right about the USB-C, and I am. USB-C, which is good. And quick charge, which is another thing I like to have, because there's nothing worse than waiting for a phone to charge, because sometimes they can take a while. Alright. Ooh, there's the color. Oop, reflection on that's going to be kind of hard for you to see the color, but it is a nice, like, light steel blue would be the, you know, like a metallic blue. Very, very nice. Alright, 12 megapixel, 8 megapixel dual rear camera, as you can see right here in the back, with flash. 16 megapixel selfie. Oh, it is also IP68 water resistant, which is nice. So if you drop it in a little bit of water or something like that, you take it out, it's good to 3 meters for 30 minutes, I believe. It's got the Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. It's a 3000 milliamp turbo powered battery, which is the turbocharge. And then it's also got the Moto experience. So, but I like that color. It's too bad my lights are reflecting a little bit too much of that. Blue steel is nice. So, let's have a little, peel that front one off. And I think there's a sticker here on the back, maybe? I don't see one. Yeah, I think we're good. Of course, you got your volume, power, and nothing on this side. SIM and the SIM slot at the top. Plus, I think you can also have a micro SD expansion, and of course, USB-C plug, and of course a headphone jack. Wow, a headphone jack. Whoever thought the day would come where that would be something unique. Let's see if it just happens to have any power here. Get it all. And there you go. She is booting up. Motorola. So, I'm pretty excited about this. Like I said, I got a case coming for this, so I have a tendency to drop phones. So I always end up buying a case because it's just a matter of time before...
Hello, Moto.
Wow. That's quite the animation screen. There you go. So, not the biggest screen. Like I said, you know, this is not a huge... I can't remember the actual dimensions. I want to say it's a 5.2, but it might be a 5.7. But I'm going to do a full review on the phone after I've had it for a little while. So I'll give you all the specs and go down through it, and I'll check out the camera. As soon as you set this up, it tells you to download the version of Android. So I'll get the Pi version on there, because I haven't used Pi yet, so that'll be kind of nice. And I got to tell you, it's pretty bright. It's a pretty nice screen. Very cool. So there you go. Yep, the Moto, and I want to make sure I get the number right. Moto X4. Yep, and in that sterling blue. That is a gorgeous color. Of course, I'm never going to see it once I put the case on it. But I mean, you can see there's some blue on the front as well. So it's not just black. I'm getting a little tired of black. You know, it's like everybody does it. All phones, smartphones nowadays seem to be that color. They seem to all just want to be, I don't know why, they're just black. Or they get white. White was trashy. I had a iPhone 4S, I think, and it was white. And it just seemed like it got dull. Like 2 days after you got it, it was almost yellow. And it just, that one I had to put a case on just because it was ugly to look at. So that's probably why I've stuck with black so long. Alright, that's a quick little unboxing. Like I said, when I do a full review, we'll get into more of the details. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.